I'm Ted Werbin, News Radio 84 WHAS, with news on demand at WHAS.com and Facebook. Depend on it.
Tony Cruz, Cindy Sullivan, instant oatmeal. Good, bad? Well, let's talk it over. Dr. Gerald Edelman is back with us. Hey, Dr. Gerald, how are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I did eat instant oatmeal. I just quit liking it. Now, my producer, Scott, our producer, I should say, he's having a bite right now, and you got some bad news for us, huh?
Yeah, so the only good thing about it is it's instant. And, people are pressed for time.
The what?
The problem is...
The only good thing about it is the what?
Well, it's instant.
Oh, it's instant.
So it's quick.
Oh, instant. Okay, sorry.
I mean,
We thought we missed an ingredient there.
It's quick, and it fits in with our modern life. And the problem is it's filled with sugar, and we've talked before about, the fact that sugar and the amounts they're putting in our food nowadays is a toxin, basically. And it leads to a pattern of peaks and valleys in blood sugar throughout the day. But, if you eat it in the morning, you can have a nice peak of blood sugar and then a crash. And then you're going to crave more sugar. And sugar wreaks havoc with the body in those amounts. That's the problem with the instant oatmeal we're talking about.
Well, the other thing, Dr. Edelman, of course, is that it becomes addictive, like lots of other things. The more sugar you get, the more you crave. And if you can just get yourself into the habit of looking at those nutritional labels on those products and avoiding the products that have lots of sugar, or avoid adding lots of sugar to what you're eating. For instance, if you're having a bowl of cereal in the morning that doesn't have a lot of sugars in it, if you're putting 2 to 4 teaspoons of sugar on it, then you're just adding more. So if you kind of can get yourself used to having less sugar, then your body doesn't crave it as much, right?
Yeah, you're spot on. So there's a bunch of points that you've made. Number one is the added sugar that we're unaware of. So my rule is, look at the label. If it's got more than about a quarter teaspoon of sugar per serving in it, which is 2 grams, don't buy it. And the second point you made is adding sugar. So a lot of people are adding things like agave syrup and honey, brown sugar.
Right.
And they think it's different, right? So let's make the point this morning that that's not different. The only thing different is they call it pure, but it still causes the peaks and valleys in your blood sugar that any other sugar does. So don't add that stuff.
You raised a point, about all the different sugars. More, it seems like more and more. Is it really more than like in the 60s and 70s when we're eating Cocoa Puffs and Count Chocula and Quisp and Quake and all these other things? Or are Americans weaning themselves off sugar at all, or no?
Well, that's another, yeah. So no, I think there's more sugar, and I also think that our lifestyle is more sedentary than it was back then.
That's good.
Our kids they're on the computer all night. There's very limited activity now in the United States. So I think it's a combination of more sugar in the food, we're more addicted because of the hidden sugar, and less activity, and that's our culture, that's our lifestyle. And so this book I wrote, Sugar Rehab, on my website, sugarrehabbook.com, it goes through how to eat in modern society without the hidden sugar and without adding sugar, and still being happy and even more fulfilled.
Okay, I want to go back to the instant oatmeal just for a little bit, because you and I disagree on one part of this. You can buy regular old, the brand name Quaker or whatever generic brand name you want to buy, instant oatmeal in a big jug, or old-fashioned oatmeal. You can put a half a cup of that and a half a cup of water in the microwave. It only takes a couple of minutes to cook, and it's got 0 sugar. That's got 0 sugar. So if you're adding something, that's one thing. But you can get oatmeal that is instant, using my air quotes, that doesn't have all those sugars. Because I eat it every morning, Dr. Edelman.
Sure. So a couple comments about that. Number one is a lot of people, maybe not you, add raisins, which are very high in sugar. And a lot of people will add something they think is pure, like some honey. Yeah. And that messes it all up. If you're eating more of the whole...
Almonds and cinnamon?
Oatmeal. Pardon me?
Almonds and cinnamon, does that work for you?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Almonds and cinnamon are beautiful.
What about
And
blueberries?
Blueberries are great too. So the blueberries have the antioxidants. The almonds are really overall just good for you, and the cinnamon actually has the sugar lowering property to it. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that. But yeah, so that's all good. But the only problem I have with oatmeal is it's not that satisfying. So if you eat the low glycemic oatmeal that you described, you're okay. The problem is you're going to be hungry about an hour and a half later. Well, then what are you going to eat?
Power bar. No, I'm just kidding.
A banana.
Right, and how much? All right, now test. How much sugar is in that power bar?
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
It's
It's what makes it taste good, Doc. Come on.
You got to look.
All right. We got to let you go. Before we do, anything about artificial sweeteners that you want to warn against?
No, I like artificial sweeteners.
Oh.
They're tools from being a beast to obese. And there's no data that shows they cause disease. That's one of our cultural myths.
Oh, all right. Good to talk to you, Dr. Gerald. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, Dr. Gerald Edelman joining us here this morning on 84 WHAS.